The medical doctor whom you produced, or one of them at least, has been here in the Human Rights Council and has said that he made statements, the ones that you have shown, under duress and intimidation. Those are the words he used, not me. And in fact, somebody in this room even photographed him when he was about to make these statements. Just last week, Mrs. Tamil Shelban, who you saw, was here, and she again appealed to people not to take into account the statements that had been made by her under duress by the government of Sri Lanka a couple of years or more after she'd been released. Neither the medical doctor nor Mrs. Tamil Shelban are today in Sri Lanka. They can now finally speak from the safety of exile. I really wanted to turn to the future, because all that is being called for under this process is that the government of Sri Lanka should set up its own process with international participation to ensure equity and independence, to come to the truth. Now, I just wanted to share with you an answer which was given to an interviewer in Sri Lanka to the Ceylon Today newspaper. The question was, this is where the special court comes into play. You would like a court hearing? The respondent said, whatever, if the country has accepted a mechanism to sort this out, we have to face it. If we are summoned, we cannot say we cannot go for that inquiry. All must be lined up and inquired. Interviewer: why do you think there is an allegation for a special, agitation for a special court, which is meant to clear everything related to war crimes? The response: I don't know what you mean by a special court, but whatever the court is, then they should do that. No problem. What we want is to have a court, or whatever its name goes by, and finish this off. The person speaking was none other than Mr. Jagath Jayasuriya, the former army commander of Sri Lanka, when confronted with allegations both from the International Truth and Justice Project and from Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca, Commander-in-Chief of the Sri Lankan Armed Forces. Now, I want to know why you have such objections to something which is now endorsed by two of the most outstanding army commanders of Sri Lanka, who together combated the ruthless terrorist organization, the LTTE.
And also Neil Boone. Neil Boone, I don't know why you are trying to play down that statement. Neil Boone was a permanent resident of the United Nations agency. He was responsible for sending humanitarian assistance. He has said that the government, the assistance or the endeavors the government has taken, if you consider that, the government should be given a gold medal because it has set a world record in especially during a war of this nature. How our government has tried her best to provide food and medicine to the Tamil people. And you must know, I must tell you, I have been in the Navy for 35 years. I have been in the Civil Defense Force beginning to the end of the war. And we are the only country who fought the terrorists and who fed the terrorists and then who sent medicine when they were injured. I think that is a world record. I think no country in the world has done that. And you say about the Tamil children's wife. See, Tamil children's wife is living very happily now. You see, he was the political commentator of the LTT, one of the ruthless terrorists, member of one of the ruthless terrorist organization in the world, and his wife is now very safe and then living happily. And also Susei's wife. Susei is responsible for making hundreds of our naval women widows, and we caught her in the middle of the sea at 11:30 in the morning. 11:30 in the night. You see, nobody was there. Robert Blake was not there. Barack Obama was not there. You see, Ban Ki-moon was not there out at sea. You could have easily shot them and then hit them in the Davy Jones locker in the sea. But what happened? Now she is now living very happily with her two or three children. They're all going to university. So that is the hospitality, and that is how we conducted this war. Also about the Sarath Fonseca. Sarath Fonseca has been the army commander. He never made this statement when he was the army commander. Now he is a politician. Now he's a defeated politician who has been taken over by this present government, given a portfolio, given this promotion, just to act as they want. You see, so this is not surprising. And he is not the army command that we had. He is only a politician who is going to make statements at the whims and fancies of the present Prime Minister.
A traitor. That's what I would like to call it. Straightforward traitor.
Was answered very comprehensively, but can I just ask you one question, sir? Since I'm meeting you for the first time, may I know your interest here? What's your interest in this subject?
My interest in the subject, as I said, I'm an Africanist. I spent more than 30 years with the UN in Africa. A little bit on the front, like the Rear Admiral. I have...
Sorry? No, what's your interest in this particular subject,
Yes.
Sri Lanka?
My interest is that I was invited to undertake a very special assignment in the office of the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka in 2002. And at the request of the government of Sri Lanka, entered into a relationship with all communities in Sri Lanka intensively for the period 2002 to 2006. My last visit was...
I assume it was a paid assignment, right? Am I right?
At that
It
time,
can't be a voluntary assignment, am I right?
well, interestingly, maybe you were right about that time. However, since 2006, I have taken it upon myself to do something rather unusual, which is to be an independent mind.
Right. Because I think there's a very simple answer to your statement about duress. Many people use this term duress when you talk about somebody and say, no, he said this under duress. So it can't be taken as, a statement coming from the heart. So there's something very, very similar to that. When somebody talks under the influence of money, it works the same way. So many people who come here to this UN, this Human Rights Commission, and talk here are paid. They're working for money. They're not talking because they actually feel for it. You may say you are doing this voluntarily now, but even you admitted your first involvement was for a payment. So how do I know for a fact that you are here because you are voluntarily doing this, you are actually feeling for it? Probably yes, probably not. So let me finish. Probably yes, probably not. I don't know whether you have the same interest that you have about Sri Lanka, that you have about Libya, that you have about Syria, that you have about Iraq, about the other countries where you have these problems. I don't know whether you have the same problem or same concern about Yemen, whether you had the same concern about Serbia at that time. I don't know whether if you're so concerned about the humanity, probably you should not look at just one country, you should look at all the other countries. Yes. So then you mentioned two people, the Tamil Chellam's wife and Sarath Fonseca. The answer, it was comprehensively answered, but let me also add one thing. Mrs. Tamil Chellam, I listened to what she was saying here. She was saying very clearly when she was saved, when she was captured by the Sri Lankan Armed Force Army, it was reported immediately by the BBC. That is why she was not killed. That's an absolute lie. It is not. How did BBC know that? BBC got to know that because Sri Lankan media was already there, and it was Sri Lankan media who gave that information to BBC. Throughout the war, during the latter part of the war, the media was present in the war front. Every little thing that was happening there was reported on the same day. We were Sri Lankans, we were watching TV, we knew exactly what was happening. When Susi's wife was captured in the night, within half an hour, the entire country knew. Why? That was not BBC, that was not Channel 4, that was Sri Lankan media reporting, sir. So when she said that she was saved because of BBC, that's an utter lie. When she was saying sometimes back that she was looked after by the country, she has no problem traveling about, that was the truth. Now it is no longer duress, now it is money that is talking. It's the same thing about Sarath Fonseca. Sarath Fonseca was the army commander. At that time he never spoke about anything like that. But in 2010, he suddenly decides to contest the presidency. And we find huge amount of money in safes and other things involved. So now today as a politician, when he says these things, we can't accept that. Had he told that at that time, we would have taken it serious, but not anymore. Now he is under many other things. Thank you, sir.